Hi, on today's video I want to talk a little bit about gigging in times of COVID, making short notice alteration to plans, and a little bit about the acoustic rig that I am putting together. If you've been following my channel here, then you'll have noticed that I've recently put up a video with a full acoustic set that I played at the Icebox a couple of weeks ago. Now, had things gone according to plan, that would have been a full band electric show with Marshall chipped. Unfortunately, things fell apart a little bit last minute. Our drummer Peter was supposed to have the night off work, but unfortunately the person who was covering his shift fell ill, and the only other person that could have covered it was away on holiday, so Pete got landed having to cover the shift himself. We had to make some very short notice alterations to the plans. What should have been a full band gig premiering a lot of new songs that are going to be on the next Marshall Chipped album very quickly became an acoustic solo show. My first thoughts when I realised I was going to have to play the gig just myself if it was going to go on ahead at all was to keep things as simple as possible, just play some old songs, some songs from the last Marshall Chipped album, some things that I know quite well and that I know will work on acoustic guitar. And because the new album, I've never really played any of it solo, it's been entirely worked up with the band in the studio, and I hadn't really had any idea how these new songs might work acoustically. But a day or two before the show I thought, this is going to be playing it a little bit too safe. If I'm going to make it an interesting show for me to play, I could do with doing something a little bit more just out of the ordinary. It was supposed to have been a full band gig, let's not make it a totally stripped down, completely unplugged set. Let's see what I can do using some pedals, because I've spent so much of lockdown building the new pedal board for the band. What could I do in an acoustic context? And so I looked up the pedals that I had at home that I've been making a small practice board with, and thought, is this going to be something that can work with acoustic guitar and for acoustic shows, and for something that I can take to open mic nights, because I'm back to playing a lot of them. So I'm looking to put together a new board that can be something really small, lightweight, unlike the band board, that I can take to open mics, small acoustic gigs, and use for home practice. So let's take a look at the rig that I used for that first test run gig at the Icebox. So this here is my acoustic setup. Let's start off with the amplifier. This is my Marshall AS50D, which is the amp that I primarily use with Furore Ceilidh Band. I've also used this occasionally for acoustic covers gigs. It's very handy for that because it's got a 2-channel setup, which means that I can plug a microphone into it as well. So if I'm playing a covers gig, this can be my entire PA system for the night. I can have a guitar plugged into channel 1, a microphone plugged in to channel 2. And this is the board that I have for my acoustic gigs just now. Start off over here with the Blues Breaker, Marshall BB2, that's set up as a little boost pedal. California, this is set up as a fuzz. Dan Electro Slapback Echo, and my Boss looper and control switch, and Tinker the cat shouting loudly in the background. Okay, so let's start off with a little demonstration of the amplifier on its own. So that's my core clean sound at the moment. This is everything's set just flat on the EQ just now. A little bit of reverb in the amplifier, I can also bring in some chorus in here. I've got some modulation effects in the amplifier. Speed and depth controls. So a nice subtle chorus, but a little bit of modulation just to add a bit of texture to the sound. Through to more intense wobble. Which is useful because I don't have any modulation on this board at the moment. It's just overdrive, delay and a looper. Now I will over time be adding lots of bits and pieces to this board because I'm not going to be taking an amplifier to just things like an open mic night. So I would like to get some modulation and reverb onto the board as well, so I can just take a small lightweight pedal board down to an open mic, maybe with a guitar plug in, and then not have to be carrying around everything here. So that's the amplifier chorus. It's also got the reverb in it as well. And these effects can be put onto anything that's put into channel 2 as well, so you can have reverb on your vocals as well, and you can control how much is going between each channel with a balance control there. So that's the onboard effects there. Now let's go to the pedal board. Let's bring in the blues breaker for a little bit of boost. Cat optional, but that's just pushing the amplifier to just going into edge of breakup sounds, which is quite handy if you're wanting to make something a little bit kind of a grittier sound, like one of the new songs. That's one of the new songs, We've Always Been at War, which has a bit of a grittier sound to it. The fuzz pedal on here. Maybe not a sound that you would usually associate with acoustic, but since I'm playing with a looper pedal, it's a handy thing to have because I can build up a rhythm parts with a clean sound, and then loop that, bring in something like the overdrive or the fuzz when I'm going into a solo, and I'll demonstrate a little bit more of that later on. The Dan Electro BLT slapback echo. It's such a short delay time on this that it's a little bit closer to almost just a reverb. It's quite subtle. But that can just bring in a little bit more space around some guitar sounds and just alter the textures a little bit. And then finally the looper on here, which I've demonstrated a bit more in another video. I'll put a link to that in the description below. So that's my small pedal board as it stands at the moment. I've got a couple of spaces on the power supply, so I can add a couple more pedals to there. Maybe get some modulation and some reverb, so that I can have all these sounds when I'm not using an amplifier, if I'm just turning up to an open mic and just plugging straight into the desk. So let's do a little demonstration of what you can do with this board. So there you are, that's a little quick demonstration of what you can do with an acoustic guitar, pedal board and amplifier. I might come back to this vlog at a later point when I've added a few more pedals to the board, and I'll take it along to an open mic soon and see how I get on playing there. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please do like, subscribe, click the little bell icon to get notifications of when I'm uploading anything new. Please do check out my band. We're called Marshall Chipped. You'll find albums of ours on Spotify and Bandcamp. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. Take care, stay safe, and I will see you again soon.